What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great edition of No Love Philly, the podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, breweries, basically anybody in the city of Philadelphia and its surrounding area that makes this place as awesome as it is. And boy, do we have an awesome one for you today. This time around, we went out to Northern Liberties, I guess, Old Kensington, I assume, to interview the dick behind Minka. That's right. We talked to Dick Rubin of Minka, and we talked about their wild monthly parties at the Barbary, the legend of how they became a band, their wild live shows packed with burlesque dancers, and bursting from a cake completely naked, living in a simulation and audio equipment. Make sure to check out their Prince Tribute Night this Thursday, August 17th at the Barbary. They will also be playing at Sensorium, and I'll have details for you shortly on that. But all in all, this was an awesome interview, man. He was a really chill dude, real fun guy to interview. Really got to, have fun with this one, man, and I really enjoyed it. These guys are definitely a party band, man. If you go and you check them out, you're going to dance, you're going to have fun. It's going to be very, very interactive for you. But it was awesome. He's got some really great stories. They're just awesome, man. It's just an awesome band. They have a new album out right now. It's called Born in the Viper Room. You want to make sure you check that out. And so for right now, if I were to do a show list, I would do it with this band here. It looks like this is going to be sponsored by The Hook Journal. Make sure to get all of your scene information from The Hook Journal if you are not getting it from No Love Philly. I love this podcast, but I can't cover it all. But so you want to make sure that you check out The Hook. It's an awesome resource. If you have a band and you want to get reviewed, that's definitely a place to do it. I'm hoping to be able to run an excerpt from this interview there as well. But we will see if that's something that's possible. Let me see here. I'm hoping to run a small excerpt, and I hope to be able to film Minka. I don't know if they're going to be doing it, if I can do it this Thursday, but maybe not. If not, then maybe on when they're playing at Sensorium at One Art Community Center on August 26th. You can still get tickets for that, by the way. I don't even know if you can get tickets for the Barbary anymore. I'm looking at tickets. It just says RSVP, but it doesn't say tickets. Or maybe you just can't get them from there. But make sure you go to the Barbary this Thursday and check them out because it's going to be fucking awesome. Let's see. So the Hook Journal is going to be sponsoring this week's shows. Like I said, August 17th, this Thursday, the Barbary, you're going to be able to see the Prince Tribute show by Minka. It's going to be one hell of a party. And then you can see Minka again at One Art Community Center. And if I were to say Sensorium, I don't even know that it would come up, man. Solar Circuit is also playing that one. So you've got Tweed. Tweed is doing that. Tweed presents Sensorium at the One Art Community Center. It starts at 1 p.m. That's going to be a wild time. There's a shitload of bands playing there. Tweed, Suhan, Les Special, Minka, The Beating, Moon Bounce, Solar Circuit, Patrick Richards. There's going to be DJs. There's going to be live art. There's going to be dancers. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff. So then I like to go to, thank you, The Hook Journal, for sponsoring that. You're going to sponsor some more stuff right here. We have the Philly show list. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. It's a Facebook group, I'm guessing. But you can really see a whole shitload of shows there. Let me see here. All results, phillyshows.com. It's been updated. Let's see here. phillyshows.com. All right, so Easy Money, Black Mass Joy, September 3rd. Desolated Purgatory, Easy Money, Sunday 6 p.m. at the Fire. You have Year of the Knife at the Fire on September 21st. October 18th, that's my birthday. Comeback Kid, Burn, Jesus Peace. September 21st, Year of the Knife. That's going down at the Fire. I was just at the Fire today. Let's see here. You have Wednesday, July 26th. That's fucking old. We're not going there. But don't forget, Minka, this Thursday. It was an awesome interview. Thank you so much for fucking doing it. It was cool. It was one hell of a day. I locked my keys in my car. What else happened? I got into a minor fender bender. But that's been what it is. Remember, go to the Hook Journal. Find out some more news about other bands that I have not been able to cover, but they have. And hopefully there'll be an excerpt of this interview there. All right, man. See you guys soon. Hope you enjoy the podcast because it was fucking awesome. It's a Cobalt CO9, I think it is.
So it is.
Yeah, man.
Cheers.
So I got to cheers, man. Fuck yeah, Drinkcast. I'm down. All right, man. So I'm here in old Kensington with Minka, but I don't even know your real name. I mean, I saw it in the messenger, but I don't pay attention to details. So.
Oh, yeah. My name's Dick Rubin.
All right, Dick Rubin. Well, that's a fucking rock star name, bro. Dick Rubin is a rock star name. So, dude, tell me about the way that I found out about you guys is through a sponsored ad or whatever that you guys had that you were promoting for. I don't even know what it was, but I will tell you that I have dun 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 stuck in my fucking head, man, day after day.
Word.
So what was that? What was that ad for? What was that?
That was for an event we did back in April. We call it the Minka Carnival.
Minka Carnival. All right. Yeah. So tell me what. There's so many questions that I have. I don't even know where to start. Let's find out about Minka Carnival. Tell me about that.
Well, the idea, behind the band really is to help people to embrace a side of themselves that perhaps they don't get to on an everyday basis. So, in that spirit, the Minka Carnival was intended to help everyone get as unhinged as possible.
It fucking looked like it, bro.
So we had, a lot of sideshow acts, jugglers, and hula hoopers, and burlesque.
So that's so awesome. So, like, who I want to interview next, but at some point, is that sideshow component, man? Because I hear there's quite a few sideshows here in Philadelphia. So, did you guys do Thunder Snow Cone, or who did you?
One of our fans, Tony.
You're probably gonna have to hold that really close.
Hold it like this. Is that cool? I can't hear.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I can hold it close, babe.
Yeah, there you go, dude. It's perfect.
All right. Yeah. So one of our fans, Tony, he just said, "Oh, someone I went to college with is really into sideshow." So I hit that dude up, and he just booked a bunch of his friends, and then I was friends with some people in the burlesque scene, and reached out to a couple of them, and the funny thing was they all knew each other when they came to the event just by chance.
All right.
So definitely an integrated scene.
That's awesome, man. So so who filmed that? Because I was like, dude, that is some nice work there.
Oh, that was my homies Ian Ross and Tyler Paxtis.
Awesome, man. They did a wonderful job filming that.
Yeah, they're great. I met them. They went to Drexel.
Okay.
And
right.
they filmed a bunch of our videos, and one that's we've got coming up as well.
So you guys have a lot of videos out, though.
Yeah, I think we've got probably 6 or 7 at this point.
It's pretty. You guys got some decent content out there.
Yeah, I love making the videos.
Yeah, that seems like it's a fun process. That's what I enjoy doing too, man. That's something that I'm gonna try to film some segments of probably this and maybe but I like filming them and putting them together and just creating a little something to go along with the podcast. Just something to share, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I can totally respect that.
Video is the future.
It is, dude.
That's
always said that.
That's what Zuck says.
Yeah, he's not lying, man. If you look, I think that most Facebook ads generate more I don't know traffic or whatever it is.
Yeah.
When it's video, so it makes sense, man. Actually, you know what? As a matter of fact, I better stop talking and start. I'm gonna film a portion of it. What I'd like to do is film you maybe talking to him a little bit. How long have you guys been together? How long has Minka been together?
Thinking, processing, since a little more than 4 years.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say I think I saw the first video pop up was in 2012.
Yeah, December. That was when we put the first one up. So I guess that's yeah.
Yeah, man.
Almost 5 years.
Almost 5 years, dude. That's crazy. How many people are in the group?
We're a 4-piece.
You're a 4-piece.
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. And yeah, man. So you guys don't just do that. You guys also you're doing a Prince cover, right? Is that what you're doing?
Prince tribute night. Yeah, this Thursday at the Barbary.
So what have you done that before? Is it something that you've done already?
No, we have a monthly party there, every third Thursday at the Barbary, and we've done a bunch of different themes. We had a masquerade, which was fun. We've done cult night, where we all committed ritualistic suicide by taking some Kool-Aid, and we went up to the spaceship together.
Crazy.
Yeah, we just had a jungle party where I used to, till about 2 weeks ago, have a very large beard that the audience all shaved.
Oh, really? Is that what happened?
Everybody came up and took a turn
Right on.
shaving the lion of his mane. So, done a bunch of themes, and we thought it would be fun to have one that was more musically inclined.
Dude, I'm gonna respectfully request to switch spaces with you only because
Lighting. Fine with me.
And thanks for the scotch, by the way.
Oh, well. Mi casa, su casa. Okay.
I'm Latino, so that actually resonates well with me. But yeah, man. So you've been, how long have you been doing that monthly theme party?
This is our 10th one.
Shit,
So almost a year.
Wow, dude. What's the turnout like on that?
Usually get about 120 or so.
Wow, dude. Wow, man. So is that so? All right. I think I'm set up. I feel confident and comfortable.
Me too.
So how did Minka get started?
Well, there are a lot of origin stories floating around. Do you want a true one or do you want a made up one?
I'm gonna go for a true.
Okay. Well, I was on a Craigslist. Through Craigslist, got hooked up with a reggae tour in 2012 or 2011, and we went around the country with a guy named Tarrii, Tarrii. It was an interesting experience, to be sure. And I met Ian, our original guitarist, on that tour, and we decided we wanted to form a band that was not reggae. So that was pretty much the only guidelines we had. And so we started doing tunes in my parents' basement for a while. Then we got a band together. A lot of members have changed. Ian had to depart, actually, because he had a surprise baby.
Surprise!
Yeah. Pretty wild.
Had one of those when I was 20.
Yeah?
Totally.
Yeah. Well, he's doing well.
That's awesome.
But, yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that the fake story is a lot cooler. Tell me about that.
Well, we were traveling, hitching rides on trains around the West. And we ran across this guy named Max. He had a kind of legendary reputation. And as a gunslinger, actually. And so it was a poker game with him, and I lost. And I had to give up the rights to the name Minka to him. But he allowed me to stay in the band, actually. So he's the drummer.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
That's pretty fucking heavy, man. That's
I escaped with my life, so that's pretty cool.
That's an awesome story, man. All right. Let's see here. If you could tell me, what do you think the philosophy of Minka is? I think you did a good job kind of explaining that earlier. What would you say the philosophy of Minka is?
Should I reprise what I said earlier?
However you want to do it, brother. It's you.
I would say that we don't necessarily appreciate that in society you are bound by certain rules and regulations and cultural mores, and we understand the reasons for those constraints on our behavior, but at the same time, I think it's important to indulge in the id, in that savage, that raw human impulse. And so our music is intended to do that for us, but beyond that, it's supposed to inspire the audience to maybe let go of what they think they should be doing and instead embrace what their core, most instinctive desires are.
a beautiful. That should be like. You should write that down and put it on a website somewhere. That sounds like some. That sounds like some. Explore your inner inhibitions type shit.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what we're about.
And that's awesome. What do you think? Like, how did your live shows start coming together to where they're like these fucking beautiful circuses, man? I mean, that's what it is. How did that start happening?
Well, we started playing a lot of house shows in Philly. We played about probably almost 100, I would say, over the past couple of years. And those are great proving grounds for the live show. And what's different about a house show versus a venue is, again, coming back to that idea of no rules, really. I mean, don't burn the house down, presumably. But beyond that, we could do whatever we wanted to do. And so once we kind of transitioned from that strategy back to playing, this monthly at the Barbary, for instance, we kind of took that ethos and, the world is our oyster. We can do whatever the fuck we want. So let's do that. So we started hooking up with the burlesque scene and, embracing, okay, we want to throw a party this month that celebrates office culture. So we're going to do that. So everyone wear a suit and we're going to destroy a fax machine, which we did. The funny thing about that was didn't think to remove the toner from – it was a laser fax machine. And we had the Minkettes, those are our burlesque dancers, start with a baseball bat on stage, destroying the fax machine, office space style. And then I got my chance at it, and on the first blow, I wanted to destroy that thing and everything it represented. And I guess I just hit it in the right spot. And toner, like a black cloud, went over maybe the first 20 people in the audience. And my buddy hit me up the next day, and he said that he went to sneeze in the shower, and all this black soot came out, which is pretty hilarious.
So, man. So, speaking of paint and like print and paint, who the hell allowed you guys to paint those walls in that video? What was the music video again for that?
Jackson Pollock.
Oh, Jackson Pollock. He was an artist. Who the hell let you guys paint their shit that way?
Well, my neighbor, she is an artist herself, and she had a room in her house that she wasn't using for anything. And so I told her, that would be the concept for the video, and asked if she would be cool with that. And so she actually let us in her house and shoot the video there, and then it's kind of a permanent exhibit in her house now. It was never cleaned up.
Never.
None of it.
Whoa.
It's still that way.
That chick's not getting her deposit back.
No. Well, it increases the value of the house in the long term.
I love it.
She just has to play the long game.
Right, dude. There you go, man. So, you guys, is this your first time? Is this your first time doing the Prince cover, or is this something you've done several other places?
No, this is our first Prince tribute night, and yeah, we've been really getting into character. I went up to Minnesota, actually bathed myself in the waters of Lake Minnetonka, just to kind of inhabit that spirit of Prince. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think his ghost has sort of started haunting my dreams.
All right, man. That's trippy as fuck.
Yeah, I mean nightmares as well.
Right.
You got to take with the good with the bad.
So, what is the goal for Minka, man? Like, where would you like to be, man? Where do you? I mean, you talk about what I thought was interesting is that you said, yeah, man, I played house shows, man. I must have played 100 of them. Right? Is that before you even started? Getting into like the venues?
We were playing venues simultaneously, but that was kind of the focus, was house shows.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm just stuck in this house show like vibe scene or whatever it is. And
well,
I'm not
a little bit. I guess I should clarify. We didn't necessarily play that many house venues. That's kind of a thriving DIY scene.
Love it.
We actually hit up friends of ours, fans of ours, and threw parties like in their houses, like their living rooms, kitchens, empty swimming pools, roofs. a lot of interactions with the police. But, they actually never stopped us from playing. The police never did. They always let us finish.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
So I guess we have some fans.
Yeah, dude. Pretty fortunate.
But yeah, so that was the scene with the house party. So we did hit up the DIY circuit for sure, but also kind of just created our own scene to some extent. But I guess to answer your original question, what's the plan for Minka?
Is there a plan? Is there even a plan?
As much as there's a plan for any of us, I always remind the band when we're in rehearsal that there's a really good chance that we are living in a simulation and that none of this matters at all.
Elon Musk.
Yeah. So, taking that in mind, you could get very nihilistic very quickly and say, well, any plan you have is totally futile because it's just zeros and ones, our existence. But, I'm not going to take it that far. So, I guess the goal with Minka is probably the White House.
The White House. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
They had a chicken on the White House. I don't see why Minka can't be there. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, just house band for the president.
Yeah, oh, dude, that'd be crazy.
Whoever is occupying the Oval Office.
Yeah, dude, just fucking house show. Even one house show in the White House you'd probably make it after that.
Yeah, make something.
Right, dude. I mean, I don't know if they would owe you any type of financial compensation, but
I wouldn't require that. We're not driven by money.
That's good. That brings me to my next question. Is this all you do? Is being a musician and
Yeah, I mean, Minka's primary focus. I also teach a 17th century vocal technique out of my apartment.
No shit.
So that gives me enough money to live.
Wow, dude. So just that's it. You're literally making it as a musician.
Yeah, it's cool.
And I'm in your place, man. I see your liquor cabinet here. You are not living like poorly, I can tell you that.
Well, you gotta have keep yourself in high spirits.
Hell yeah, man. So we were talking about some of the equipment that you've been working on. Why don't you describe some of the stuff that's on this awesome? Did you build this table?
My roommate did.
All
He's
right.
a
Carpenter.
farmer, actually,
okay.
but amateur carpenter as well. So yeah, that. Excuse me. That right here. This is a Casio toy keyboard from maybe 91 or 92, and I reached out on eBay to this guy who said that he was working on circuit bending toy keyboards and basically commissioned him to do this one. So if you, it has the original Casio sounds in it, but it just has all these modifications to the actual circuits that make it sound like a completely different beast, which is pretty fun. I've got that keyboard over there. That's the Yamaha VSS 30, and that is another toy keyboard. But what's really cool about that one is its sampling capability.
All right.
So it has a button you can hit, and it'll record, with its internal microphone, record 2 seconds of whatever sound you put into it, and then it kind of maps it onto the keyboard. And that was actually used by Sigur Rós on a bunch of their albums and stuff. And yeah, just sampling vocal stuff. Like if you just go, whoo, and then just map it out onto there, it just has this, you play chords with that sound. It just has a really cool texture. So been experimenting with that. That's a drum machine that actually is a drum synthesizer. It's this German company called Vermona. And instead of using samples, it actually has oscillators inside of it that, it's I guess it has 8 inputs for kick, snare, hi-hats.
So you hit each one of these and then adjust the
you adjust the parameters,
right,
and you can actually change the timbre of the drum in real time because you're affecting the actual oscillator,
right?
Which is pretty sweet.
That's awesome, man. What's up with the deer antlers?
I usually keep mementos of the people or animals I kill.
Right on. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great to know. Does this place have a basement?
Not that you're allowed in.
All right. I was gonna say, man, if I end up missing, check there, right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna have to ask you to strike that.
Right. So what do you, I would assume with so many different people coming in and out of the band, like you said, there's some people started and they've had babies and had to do that. So how is it keeping it all together, like all unison and all seamless? Like,
Well, there's definitely I think the philosophy of the band is what makes it gel. People have come and gone. I like to think that the current lineup that we have is, we found the answer. But you never know. Maybe I'll decide to leave, I'm just kidding.
right.
But yeah, so I think we're all on board. We just want to make the best music possible. And I think we also share a lot of the same aesthetic ideals in terms of what we want it to sound like, and also sort of the end result. We want it to be that people are letting loose. So that's kind of something that unites all of us.
How many albums do you guys have out right now?
We have 2 EPs up on Spotify, and then we had 2 previous EPs before that, but we destroyed all copies of those.
Why would you destroy all copies? What?
Sometimes destruction is a form of creation.
All right, so you just decided to get rid of them, huh?
Yeah, it was pretty awkward going into our friends' houses and just in the middle of the night and stealing them and destroying them.
They must have been pissed, man.
No, they understood what we were about.
Oh, right on, man. They just gelled with it then.
Yeah,
were like,
they had no
man,
choice,
blah,
really.
blah,
They
blah.
were bound and gagged. So
Jesus Christ, man. This is you are a down for that bounding and gagging shit, man.
I'm actually natural submissive, but I don't think that's for this podcast.
All right, man.
Okay.
Maybe another one, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you should do escorting on the side. Or
Yeah.
Some be a dominatrix. What is the word for a male dominatrix? Is it the same?
A dominator? I don't
I
know.
don't know, man.
I don't know.
I know that one time I was on South Street. No, I'm sorry, 4th and Market in an old city, and there's a little kink. I guess the name of the place is Kink, but there's a little card there for a dude, Sir something. I don't remember what it is.
Sir, that's pretty dope.
I know, right? Just to be announced as Sir, like you walk in and Sir, But yeah, dude, he was a dominatrix dude, and I was like, I want to get him on the podcast too, man.
I'm sure he's got some good stories.
Right, yeah, there's got to be, and I'm such a huge fan of stories, man. I'm like such a I love stories. What's your story, man? Where did you come from? Did you grow up here in Philly? Did you?
I grew up outside of Philly.
All right, where'd you grow up?
Gladwin.
Okay, Gladwin. All right.
Yeah, nice.
Mansions of Gladwin.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's a pretty idyllic,
Okay.
affluent area for
yeah.
sure. A lot of trees, a lot of old white people.
Yeah, yeah. So,
I grew up surrounded by old white people. My dad's 88.
oh shit,
Yeah, I'm 30 to give you perspective.
dude, he must be like, what the fuck is wrong with this generation? What did I do?
Yeah, we were just hanging out, and yeah, pretty much every time we talk, it goes there.
Is he one of those? Does it? I was say, is he one of those older dudes that are like, what are you doing with your life? Why,
Oh yeah,
why have you not joined the railroad yet?
Yeah. Well, everyone else in my family's a doctor.
Oh, great.
I have 3 brothers who are doctors,
Oh,
and yeah, so I chose. I don't even feel like it was a choice, really. I didn't choose not to do that. I just knew that I had to do music. It wasn't a choice.
And your dad saw a 75% return on his investment. So what's he got to complain about?
Exactly. That's what I try to tell him. I'm like, you have one fuck up. You're allowed a mulligan.
Yeah, dude. Touring. Do you guys do a lot of touring?
We haven't yet.
What?
I think it's hard to justify touring without the music being stellar. I think our music's good, but it needs to be stellar to justify. Because touring, it's really hard to see the return on the investment unless you're doing it all like a huge amount.
You're talking like your dad. I think you need to just get out there.
No, I mean, how do I put it?
Dude,
it could kill morale for a band.
Get the fuck out of here.
So many bands.
I'm not buying it. Dude, yeah, I'm
I
thinking
don't
you
know.
guys. I'm thinking you guys would have such a fucking great time on tour. I think that you guys would have like throw a party everywhere the fuck you guys are at. I'm, I'm.
Well, now is the time.
Yeah,
We're
dude.
starting to do some stuff in the coming months, but we haven't yet because up until now, just it wasn't quite there. But I think we're there.
Is that right? What is what? So what is your there? What makes
What
you
is
feel
what
that?
is there?
Yeah.
Yeah. A good, a real. So, I think we all hear what we want to sound like in our heads, and the process of actually hitting that execution is everything. And I don't think that it just happens overnight. Maybe it's taken 4 years, but I think we finally are starting to achieve the sound we've all heard in our heads.
So the sound that I have in my head, like I mentioned earlier, is dun 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 dun. What song is that, man?
Still waiting.
Still waiting. All right, man. Any inspiration behind that one, or?
That song's about, to me, our drummer Max actually wrote the lyrics to that one. So you'd have to ask him exactly what it meant to him. But to me, it's about, I imagine myself in middle school waiting for the, knowing that there's a dance going on. And that's where all the ladies are going to be at. And just waiting for a call from somebody, just like, let's go. And I'm still waiting. And I'm 30 years old. I'm still waiting for that call.
Still waiting for that fucking dance, huh?
Yeah.
Jack, what's the name of the artist? Jack Pollard. The
Jackson Pollock?
Yeah, there you go. What was the inspiration behind that? I mean, that seems.
Uh,
I wasn't sure if in the video if you were like saying that you revere him or you hate him.
Well, that's great that you didn't know. But I would say revere.
Okay.
I just love his attitude. The dude literally took paint and threw it on a canvas. How much less of a fuck could you possibly give?
And then when everybody liked it, he stopped. I don't know if you knew that part.
I didn't.
So
No.
when everybody liked it, and it was like catching on. He was like, "No, dude, I'm not doing it anymore." And so then he painted like some really dark shit, and then people were like, "I'm not fucking buying it." Like they had an art show, and he sold 0.
And he's probably like, good.
Yeah, dude. I think he sold one to a friend at a discounted price or something like that. But yeah, so I was. That's one of the things that I thought was interesting is that like. I couldn't tell. I was like, does he like him? Does he like? I'm just Jack Pollock, right? Or I keep fucking forgetting.
Jackson Pollock.
Jackson Pollock, right?
Just the idea of sort of, there's this sound in the song. The bass line's like do 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 do, and in the middle of that, there's just like a pew, like a guitar just splash.
Right.
And
right.
to me, that is, just a splash of sound, a splash of color. So there's sort of a programmatic element there. Just sort of the music trying to sound like a Jackson painting looks like.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Are you classically trained? Did you go to school for this, or?
I didn't go to school for it, but my dad, being an old head, insisted on piano lessons from age 3.
It's
So.
like you're like you have no idea what you're doing, old man. Like you don't know.
So yeah, I've been playing classical piano since ever. I
Classical
was
piano is like
conscious.
the gateway to rock and roll, stardom. You know.
Yeah,
It's a
well,
gateway
I'm
drug.
still waiting for the stardom part,
You're
but
getting it, bro. I wouldn't stress that.
Oh, I
man.
don't.
I think as long as like you say, man, it's a fucking very possible that it's a simulation, right? Some Elon Musk shit. So I
yeah,
think
the only concern that I ever have, and the only thing I ever get stressed about is the music good enough?
I just want to have a good fucking time, man. That's all
Yeah?
I want, you know. But I
Well, we're trying to create the greatest music that has ever been made. So
good luck, man.
yeah, we're
Good
close.
luck, you know. I hope that happens, but for now, fuck it. Just
Yeah,
have
we're
good
having a great
you know?
time.
I think that's one of the things that I don't know. Whenever I get caught in that whole, this could be a simulation, this could be a simulation, then I think, well, if that's true, then that means that we technically would have the ability to kind of manifest our own destiny, right?
Exactly,
I mean, you're
yeah.
able to like. So if you want this to be or whatever, it's just something that you gotta just keep like thinking about, working on, going towards, because you can change all those zeros and ones.
Well, so they're actually, I'm a bit obsessed with the simulation idea.
Okay,
I
great.
actually believe. As crazy as it sounds, I kind of believe it.
Can I vape in here? Is that
Can you what?
vape in here?
Yeah. I don't give a
Okay,
fuck.
great. All right.
So, with regard to the simulation, it goes back on a philosophical level to Descartes. I think, therefore I am. And
Okay.
in that,
All right. Okay.
in that, he talks about, and I'm not a philosopher by any means, but I remember taking a philosophy class in high school, and then I was really high as fuck actually in this particular class. I remember being like, oh wow, that's deep. He was talking about, what are the truths that even if nothing else exists, if I'm the only thing that exists, what else is real? And he was like, mathematics, geometry. That doesn't need any sort of physical reality to be true. Like, it's just a concept that exists. And whether the world is real or not, that is real. And in the same vein, I feel like a good song, or any song, like the concept of the song can exist, the melody, the chords, the words, that exists, that can exist with or without the world. So that's kind of what drives me.
I think another one that I recently stumbled upon was the fifth dimension. Have you heard that shit?
So the fourth dimension is time.
Okay.
What's the fifth?
All right. So your body is merely just a fucking vessel, dude. Like, dude, it's fucking nothing, man. Like, the old nursery rhyme, row your boat. Life is but a dream, right? All right, just think about that. So that's the whole think therefore I am type shit too, right? And the whole simulation, right? Idea is this is just a dream. This is just a simulation of what you kind of experience in this body. But if you just think the words to yourself, I am. Do that right now. Okay. Did you did you say I am?
In my head.
Did you hear it?
Yeah.
How is that possible? You didn't fucking say anything. So that fifth dimension is that core that's inside of you. It's that voice that you hear. It's that voice that speaks. That's what that fifth dimension is. So that's, in theory, should exist even after your body ceases to. So that's another one that I'm super like.
Yeah, I dig that.
That's a head fuck. You know what I mean? And so knowing that and the finer in tune with you get into that, you can like create these metaphysical changes. You know what I mean? In different things using the power of the mind. I guess it all falls in line with The Secret and all that shit. Thinking about like,
right, The Secret.
You know what I mean? The Secret.
Yeah.
That's what it is, dude. It's like just constantly thinking about it, man. So that with that being said, and if we're living in a simulation and you're able to control this and do it, man, what is the absolute end result that you would like? What is that achievement or man?
I think, going back to what I was just talking about, if it is a simulation, then the greatest thing that I could probably hope for would be just to sort of like a math problem, like a song just create something that's perfect, that would exist whether or not the simulation is real or not. Just something that is unique. And it's hard. But I think if I could do that a couple times, I'd feel pretty good.
What do you think the hardest part about being in a band and like doing these shows and drawing audiences is? Like what's the hardest part about it?
Hardest part. It depends how you define hard. Because there's a lot of work involved.
Difficult,
but
I guess difficult.
Yeah,
difficult
well,
would be-
so there's a lot of like hard work in terms of just hours, but it doesn't feel like work necessarily. The amazing thing about being in a band is that part of what Minka's about is just creating friendships between the band and our fans on a level I think that most bands don't necessarily engage in because it's just so time consuming. But, you know, after every show, I talk to every single person who I recognized who was there and just trying to have a little conversation. And, you know, that task takes like 6 or 7 hours after a show. But the benefit of it is that somehow just have hundreds of friends now. So that's extremely rewarding, but also at the same time, very time consuming.
But you also get fans who have hookups to sideshow people, so it works out, right?
It definitely works out. I mean, it's great, and it's all part of the journey, and it's the most fun. To me, the music is fantastic, really fun, but the relationships I build with the people who come to our shows, that's actually number one to me.
And the experience, you know what I mean? The experiences that you
Exactly.
achieve through those things, man.
And that's part of the whole vibe we do with the parties at the Barber. You know, each one is a unique experience that will never be replicated again, and that's you know, for anyone who's there, we share in that together, and it's just a moment in time and becomes a memory, and that's awesome. And it's awesome because of its uniqueness, I think.
Totally, man. That is something that I think that I need to be doing more of. What I would love to do is I would love to go to the shows and like be able to set up a booth and be like, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing. Because like you say, it's like those experiences pay off, and you run into somebody else that like has this similar interest or this similar thing, you know what I mean? But you would have never fucking known that if you would have just stayed at home and like just sat there, you know what I'm saying? In fact, after this Prince show you guys are playing a festival, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are fucking playing those with Solar Circuit, who after this interview I'm headed over to
Oh,
do
wow.
those as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
so.
we played with them in Westchester. It was
All
a
right,
fun show.
cooler. Yeah, man. They're a fun group of people, man. They really are. That festival, though, man. That's one that I would like to.
Yeah, it's at a
jump
cool
on.
spot. One Art Community Center, I think it's called. I can't remember
Is
the
that a
exact.
BYOB place, or is that like a community place? There's no drinks. I don't know. I don't.
Oh,
I don't
it's
get out that
BYOB,
often. Okay, all right. Yeah, man. But
Or BYOA, bring your own acid.
right. I've not done that. Well, at least not brought my own.
Usually someone brings it for you.
Oh, good. I'm somebody from my work might be listening to this, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Right.
man.
Acid? Sounds
so,
dangerous.
It sounds like it could burn you. But yeah, dude, I wanna do, especially hearing you talk about it more. You know what I mean? I want to be able to get there and kind of like say, hey, this is who I am. This is what's going on. And I think I have a little bit of fear in that, like not, you know.
Well, I mean, you asked what the band's about. I think everyone's behavior is motivated by fear to some degree, unfortunately. And the point is to destroy that.
Right on. So when you do the Prince show, you guys going out full out? Is it going to be like the Minka Circus? Or
Yeah, well, we've got the Minkettes coming,
Cool.
and we will be Prince and the Revolution.
Right on.
We're conducting a seance on Thursday earlier in the day. We're actually going to resurrect his spirit. I'm going to lease my body to Prince for about 12 hours. And, yeah.
What if he's like, fuck you, bitch, you can't have it back?
Worst things have happened.
The reincarnation. Prince manifests himself as a...
I'd really
light
like to
from Valley.
imagine, my dad talking to Prince in my body.
Is he a fan? Is he a fan of Prince?
My dad hasn't listened to any music made since probably 1940.
Fuck, so he's not even a fan of Minka.
No, he's
Jesus.
never heard it.
Never been to a show, and he's like, what the fuck is Minka? Oh, yeah, so that was one of the things. That was a comment that I saw on you guys is on that specific ad. He's like, dude was like, what the fuck is Minka? And it's the band, baby. I was like, fuck yeah, dude.
I ended up talking to that dude. I remember that comment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we had a conversation. You became a fan.
Right on, man. I don't doubt it, dude. I think what I love so much about your band, I think definitely what attracted to me is I saw that and I was like, this is a good fucking time, man. Like, this looks like a good fucking time. Um, is that hard to get band members on board with, or are they like, no, fuck yeah, I want to have a good fucking time?
I think everyone wants to have a good time. And yeah, everyone in the band's like-minded. I think we all want to provide that opportunity for people to come, because we're having a fucking blast on stage. That's sort of, if we're not having fun, then who the fuck else is going to have fun?
That brings me to another segment that I want to film. Do you have any crazy ass Philly stories that you can tell? Do you have a crazy ass Philly story?
Plenty. What? Give me sort of.
Fuck no, it's your pick, dude. Any crazy ass Philly story that you want to tell? It could be about stage, it could be personal, whatever the fuck. I don't care.
About the band playing, that kind of thing.
Whatever you want, brother. It's your dream, man. It's your matrix, whatever.
All right. Well, totally unrelated to music then. So, I teach tennis. I'm not amazing at tennis, but I'm good enough that I suppose I can fool people into thinking that I'm good enough to be a teacher. So I teach at the 8th and Poplar Courts around the corner from here. And there's this dude who just rolls up, and he's a crazy person. I don't know how else to put it. He rolls up. He has no air in his tires on his bike. And so you hear him coming for, 20 seconds before he actually arrives. And he shows up with a wooden racket and one ball. And he just starts. This has happened to me 10 times while I've been teaching on these courts. And he never remembers me, even though we've played. But he always forgets me, which is fine. I get it. But he's legit crazy. Like he serves the ball, and he yells at himself when he misses, hits in the net, but screams like, fuck. And whoever I'm teaching at the time is always really freaked out by this person. I say, don't worry, he's harmless. He's just letting out his energy. And the funny thing is, he actually has good form. Like, you can tell he used to be a player, but I guess no longer. So I was playing my buddy Andy in a match of high consequence. We play a lot, and so sometimes we like to bet a little bit. So we put 500 on this match we were playing, and sure enough, dude rolls up, and I'm like, whatever, I'm not gonna sweat this. And for whatever reason, he decides to get involved. He has a rooting interest in Andy winning. I don't know what he didn't like about me, but he wants Andy to win. And he starts shit-talking me during the match and just being, giving me unsolicited advice. Like, you got to bend your knees, man. And I'm like, okay, come on. I'm just going to focus. I'm going to be cool. And I'm going to beat Andy. But this guy wouldn't stop. And he kept encouraging Andy. Whenever Andy won a point, he'd yell on his behalf. And whenever I missed a point, hit in the net or something, he'd be like, I told you. And I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's driving me nuts. And so it was a service game. I was serving. And he started thinking that I didn't, I guess, have the aggression that he thought I should have. So every time in the middle of the toss, he would interrupt me and say, attack! And of course, that's, going to fuck me up every time. So I start hitting, horrible serves, like in the bottom of the net. I'm so distracted. And then he gets in my face and he says, how dare you? This is the game I love, that I care about. And here you are. You don't care about this game. I trash you, man. And Yeah, I ended up losing horribly. And yeah, I guess it's a reflection on Philly, on gentrification, on tennis, and on how I couldn't get him out of my head.
So you fucking lost $500 on that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that sucks dick, dude. Sorry that happened, man.
Yeah.
That's a horrible loss, man. I think that's probably the worst part of that story.
Yeah, other than my pride.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Totally ripping up your pride. All right, so show dates. You got this thing that's coming on Thursday, dude. I'm gonna try to get home, have a beer, and edit this up so that it's good to roll out tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Because that's going down Thursday
Thursday night
at the
10
Barbary.
o'clock.
And then you guys got that festival coming up that you're playing
Yes,
with
sir.
Solar Circuit, who I just happened to be interviewing later this evening. But when is that show?
That's the 28th of
28th,
August.
and that is, where's that going down?
One Art Community Center in West Philly.
Man, so definitely want to check both those out. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? Maybe something that I left out, maybe something that I missed or that you wish you would that I would have asked?
That's a good question.
It's probably the best one I've asked all day, man.
Very open-ended. I don't know. Do you have any? I guess I've been wondering. Do you have any dark secrets?
I don't know, man. I always try to think what's the most fucked up thing I've ever done, and there's nothing really like too serious, man. It's all like very chill.
I guess that's good. Although sometimes it
I
feels
do.
good to indulge the dark side.
No, I actually do have some very dark secrets, but they're really just very awesome stories. I once I used to cross the border into Mexico a whole lot.
Really?
So I've got a lot of Mexican border horror stories that are absolutely amazing. But I think I'm saving those, man. I think I'm saving those for the right time.
Right.
But,
For your book.
I should, man. Tales, Short Stories, and Rough Drafts by Old Huelo Chuco. But yeah, man. What about you? What's your dark secret aside from murders in the basement?
Yeah. Well, I was pretty open about those
Yeah.
actually, as you could tell. Trying to think dark secrets. I stole this kid's pen. Peter Valeris in first grade. He was talking about this ghostwriter pen that he had. It was two pens. One would invisible ink, and the other was kind of an eraser that would reveal the ink. And he was talking about it on the bus.
Proud as shit about it.
Proud of shit. And then I was
Gladwin kids. Fucking
exactly. And I'm just sort of, I don't know. I guess, my parents were very focused on me doing well. And so, I got all the lessons and all that stuff, and which is fantastic. I'm not complaining. But I didn't necessarily have all the hip toys or anything. I definitely never got a ghostwriter pen. And I was envious. And as I was stewing in my envy, it rolls to me on the floor of the bus. I guess it fell out of his pocket. And I just put it in my backpack.
It's mine now, bitch.
And the funny thing was I couldn't even do anything with it because I didn't have the other pen. And
It's because you were so focused and you did the whole Matrix. I'm gonna track this fucking pen to me, and it rolled right to you. You forgot about all the other shit though. So
yeah, I was very focused, and he realized that he didn't have the pen, and he made a stink about it to the teacher, as you do, and the teacher, she made an announcement to the class. That his pen was missing, and if you took it, nothing bad's going to happen as long as you return it now. And I didn't return it. And I guess he was wondering his whole life where that pen went. And I had it. And I actually reached out to him. I hadn't spoken to him in maybe 15 years. I reached out to him on Facebook, told him this whole confession, but he didn't respond.
you should have followed up with there's a show at the Barbary this Thursday. Minka, bitch.
So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I really am sorry for taking the pen. Done a couple other bad things. Slept with a very good friend of mine's girl. I didn't mean to do that, but it just happened. Alcohol, man.
Alcohol, man. Whew. And Minka, it makes you lose all your inhibitions,
It
man.
does,
You don't
yeah.
really give a fuck anymore.
It's true.
So what happens
But
when you go to a Minka
these
show?
are the things I think about
Hey,
on Yom Kippur. You know, the Jewish Day of Repentance. There are about 4 or 5 things that just run through my brain over and over again, and I can't take them back.
I think we need to keep that last part, dudes. Keep your ladies close when you go to this Minka show, man. This dude's out on the prowl.
Yeah,
dude.
yeah. I mean, dick's dick.
Yeah.
It can't be controlled.
I mean, it's got a mind of its own sometimes. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's true. But I've been good. I feel like I've been well behaved of late. But everything's cyclical, you know. So the calm before the storm.
Right. Hell yeah, dude. Hell the fuck yeah. I'm all about that shit too. I'm trying to think of. I'm thinking about a good one. All right, so Jesus, this one's running good, man. This is great. I got one for you. All right, so this one involves me and my wife actually. So this is a weird story. So I mentioned earlier that I've been a music journalist forever. I did a public access show, and that's how I very first started out. Man, I'm so old, dude. This is when like Jackass and Tom Green were out, right? And then I did after that I started writing for magazines. I wrote for the local rag, and I got to interview everybody, man. Fucking Korn, Slipknot, 3-6 Mafia, fucking Gabriel Iglesias, Pitbull, just basically anybody that
Mr. 305.
Yeah, sir, dude, did that. And 3-6 Mafia actually challenged us to a barbecue competition, which I did not do, and I should have. That is one of my biggest regrets, I can tell you that.
I believe it.
But are you familiar with Ministry?
No.
Oh, that sucks, man. Your life will be a lot better if you get some ministry involved in that.
Ministry.
Yeah.
Is that a band?
Yeah, fuck yeah. It's a godfather of industrial fucking music, dude. That motherfucker's the shit. Al Jorgensen. All right.
I'll put it on my list.
You have to. So, and especially the remix shit. I don't know if you're into remixed stuff,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Holy fuck, dude. It goes balls out. The Last Dubber. That's the one that I recommend that you really fucking focus on, because who the dude that engineered that is brilliant fucking mind, dude. Absolutely brilliant. Well, anyway, so Al Jurgensen is the frontman for Ministry. He fucking is Ministry, okay? He's lived in New York. He's lived in L.A. He's done all that type of stuff. For some fucking reason, I don't know why, but he ended up buying a fucking mansion in my hometown of El Paso, Texas. And he also had this side group called Revco, which is the Revolting Cocks. I also strongly
That's an amazing
recommend,
name.
that you fucking check out the Revolting Cocks. El Sexo Mixo. Make sure you check that one out. And I can tell you some fucking very rad stories about songs that are on that fucking CD, man. So, but we'll save that for another interview. Well, anyway, dude, so I get fucking invited to go to this dude's mansion and interview the new members of this new group. Basically, what he wants to do with the Revolting Cocks is he wants to create an industrial menudo. So menudo was an old like Latino band, and they would switch members every 4 or 5 years, so there'd be like a new group all the time. So that's what he was hoping to do with this. So he gets these young bucks on there, and I go out to the mansion. I'm interviewing them. I do a piece on them. I invite them on to my buddy's radio show. We do that, and then we're at the show, man, and I just got this odd feeling that this dude wanted to fuck me and my wife. Like, I'm pretty positive that's what was going down. This is back in the day of MySpace, so there's actually a picture probably somewhere floating around of me, this dude in the middle with a rose that I bought my wife in his mouth, and then my wife on the side.
That's dope.
It was such an odd like night, man. My wife ended up getting hit on by this stripper This dude was obviously like into his boat. It was just an odd moment, but that's probably one of the weirdest fucking things that happened. But also one of the most gnarly. Because that
But
dude's
how
still
was the
fucking
sex?
cool as fuck. I got no idea, man. I was fucking. I didn't. For me, it was great, you know. But I don't know, man. It was just one of those odd things. But he was such a fucking cool dude, man. The whole group was cool, man. But it was just one of those like once in a lifetime. This doesn't always happen. You don't always get to go to Al Jurgensen's mansion and then fucking go see the Revolting Cocks play and get hit on by the lead singer. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
It was pretty
really
gnarly,
wild.
dude. It was. Oh, and then Al Jurgensen ended up taking his cock out and flashing it to the crowd that night as well. So it was a wild night, man.
Yeah,
So I don't
that's
have so
a
much as
that's
a
a classic
confession as a great story.
Yeah, it's a great one.
But yeah, man, that's what I have. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Can you top that?
Yeah, I can.
Go for it. Go.
Well, I can't top it, no. But just nudity made me think. One of the shows at the Barbary was for my birthday, and in the ads for the party, I said I was going to jump naked out of a cake
Bitchin'.
for my own birthday. Usually, I think people get like a stripper or something to jump out of a cake. They don't themselves jump out of the cake. But I kind of just said that almost jokingly, and then as it was coming along, people kept asking if it was going to happen. I said, yeah.
My name's Dick, bitch.
So actually, Josh, who's the promoter who I work with, we built a cake out of cardboard and other things from Target. It was like a good 6 foot tall cake. I got rolled out. The band was already kind of playing a little bit, and I was naked and burst out of the cake at the party and played the whole first song completely naked at the Barbary.
Nobody said shit. They didn't care.
Well, the funny thing was I was live streaming it on Facebook, and so everyone I know was able to see it.
Your dad must have been so proud.
Luckily, he doesn't use social media, but he would be proud. No, he would not be. Actually, he said that I was a perpetual adolescent when I told him about it. But he's not wrong. The funny thing was that people shared the video. People posted on Instagram. And to my knowledge, no one, the algorithm or whoever, people complain, it didn't happen. Like, the video's still up.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just because my dick was pretty flaccid because of the situation. Like, maybe the algorithm couldn't tell that I was naked,
Right.
Because it's like, it was like 10 feet away. Maybe I was wearing beige clothing. That's what Facebook algorithms think. But, yeah, it's still up. So that was a high point of my year, probably.
That's awesome, man. That's a cool fucking story to say you built a cake out of fucking and did that. That's
Yeah,
awesome,
it was
man.
cool. And then, sort of based on that, we ended up playing a nude volleyball festival outside of Reading where I was just naked the whole time.
Oh, does that go down? Nude volleyball?
Mm-hmm.
No shit.
This was kind of like the after party after the volleyball matches, or maybe it was the volleyball matches were the next day, actually. But we showed up. Most people were naked, and we just played a set. And after maybe the second song, Ashley, who booked us, came on stage with a couple other friends and ripped my clothes off and played the set naked.
Wow, dude. So where did that go down? I mean,
It was at a
like,
nudist colony.
So it's a colony, like a
Yeah, it
straight
was
up-
like with a gate. It was like a compound.
no shit. So did
Yeah.
they book you for that?
Mhm.
So these motherfucking dudes were
It's
like,
an organized thing. They actually do it every month of the summer in a different location. They have a tournament.
wow,
pretty
dude. And
awesome.
so they were like, we want Minka.
Yeah,
Bring that party.
it's pretty
here.
honored.
That's pretty awesome, man. So was that something, in all seriousness, was that something that you scouted out and like, no, dude, I want to be a part of this? Or did they hit you up? Or
Hit
how
us
did that
up.
happen?
Ashley hit us up. We've played Ashley's. She lives in the Berks warehouse, so she's had us play a couple of her parties, and she on the team and thought it would be a good fit, so she
Okay.
asked us to play.
So I want to interview Ashley. You say she's throwing parties. I want to interview her, so you're going to have to throw contact info that way.
Sure.
The second thing is that you say you work with a promoter. What did you say his name is?
Oh, Josh.
I want
He's
to
from
interview that fucking dude too.
Deviant Philly. That's
Deviant Philly. All right.
his
Um,
organization.
Do me a favor, send me links to that because I want to interview both those people, man. I've been so interested in interviewing a promoter or a talent booker from one of these from one of these venues, right? Because I get a lot of conflicting information about it, and I just kind of want to cut to the chase and get the real deal information about like what is it that they're looking for, like how can a band book at your venue and be able to be like A, make it happen, and B, be successful. But I have like just all kinds of questions about that. What's been your experience with that, man? What's
Playing for venues and booking?
Yeah.
Well, we started our first show was at the Fire, which is a block and a half from here.
Yeah.
And that was a situation where we just cold emailed, and no one knew who we were, but they said, okay, you can play. So we got all our friends to come out, and
this is pre-Dick Cake.
Yes, this is December 2012.
Okay.
So quite a while ago. So that was our first show. A lot of cold emailing for venues, and then once we played Milk Boy a lot when we first started out.
Is it hard to book at Milk Boy?
Well, I mean, it's all a lot of it's luck. Like if you send an email to a promoter and they have a show coming up, say a touring band's coming through, and your music sort of fits the vibe of the night, they might in that moment say, okay, sure, we've got a spot for you.
Right. But you recorded some music at Milk Boy Studios, is that correct?
We did, yeah.
All right, yeah. I thought I saw that.
Yeah.
So did that relationship happen after you guys started playing at Milk
unrelated.
Boy?
Totally unrelated.
Totally unrelated, okay.
Yeah.
What's the story with Milk Boy? I don't get it. So I know there's a venue and there's a studio, and I don't. What is? I need to interview that dude. That's who else I want.
Jamie would be the guy to interview, I think.
Is he the dude behind Milk Boy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And my impression is he's a. Don't quote me. I could be wrong, but when we recorded there, we talked a little bit, and I think he's been in music for a long time, and then he got into real estate, and then got back into music by opening a recording studio, and then started, opening venues. So that's
Milk Boy's not his only venue.
No, well, there are two Milk Boys. There's Milk
That's
Boys
right.
South Street, and I think they're interested in engaging in expansion, to other areas beyond Philly. So that's the deal with Milk Boy. But yeah, and they've had us play there probably 10 times at this point, and it's always fun. But yeah, booking, a lot of it, more of it has to do with making relationships with other bands, and that maybe are a little more established than you are, and they'll ask you to open for them. Then you create a relationship with the venue based on that experience, and kind of go from there.
All right, man. So yeah, so I think my goal, I don't know if I'm gonna do 50th, 75th, or 100th, but I would really like to do like a 50th episode extravaganza where I get to interview where I get to have bands that have been interviewed on this show, like to do a show for a night, and in between it have crazy ass Philly stories, people coming up and telling like their own crazy ass Philly stories. But I have really no idea where to start. If I were back home in Texas, I would know exactly what to do. But it's just this
Right.
is a whole different beast.
So, I mean, are you looking for a venue, or, well, I mean, when you say you don't know where to start, what do you mean?
Yeah. Like, so I don't. So a venue, B, a contact, right?
Yeah, I mean, I
'Cause I'm the
definitely,
type- I'm the type-
know some people I could
Yeah.
hook you up with.
I'm also just the type of asshole to roll into some random bar and be like, "Yo, can I throw a show here?" See what the fuck they say.
I mean, in
you know what
Philly,
I
that
mean?
would probably work.
Yeah,
a
it
lot
might,
of the
right?
time.
That's awesome, dude. This has been a super cool interview, man. I really appreciate you having me at your place, fucking liquoring me up with scotch, and
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. Thanks for
this
having
is
me.
awesome, dude. Anything? Where can people get a hold of you? They want to know more of the Minka story. They want to go to a show. They want to fucking lose their inhibitions. How do they do that?
Everything is at We Are Minka, MINKA. So weareminka@gmail.com, at We Are Minka on Instagram, facebook.com/weareminka. Our website's weareminka.com. So it's pretty easy to find us if you look for that. If you forget the We Are, you're gonna find a Korean porn star.
Yeah, and the Korean Japanese housing.
Yeah,
Japanese
Japanese
houses.
housing. Yeah.
Yeah, how did Minka? Where did you get the name Minka?
Well, Minka is, I've expressed my passion for tennis. She is the world record holder for largest breasts in the world. And she's a porn star, Minka, Korean porn star, and also semi-professional tennis player.
No fucking shit.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like maybe what you should do is try to like.
We're trying to get her in our next video for sure.
Whoa, no shit, huh?
Yeah.
What's been the process with that?
Well, she and I have been sort of, FaceTiming, just probing each other a little bit.
Are you bullshitting me or are you fucking for real right now?
I'll let you be the judge.
All right, man. And so, by FaceTiming, do you mean you pay per the minute or
No, she's way beyond
or
cam girl, man.
Okay.
Everybody knows Minka.
I have to fucking check this out myself, man. Do you think that's a possibility?
I think it's a soon to be reality.
That's fucking awesome, bro. That is that's a cool fucking story right there, man. Well, dude, this has been awesome, man. Like, I really appreciate it. I've had a good time.
I've had
man.
fun.
I think there's going to be a lot to write about with this.
Oh, good.
With this one. Yeah, man. I hope you'll entertain the idea of letting us film and do some stuff at one of your shows and putting together a short doc on you guys. Because
I'll allow it. I'm usually pretty particular about who I let into the inner circle.
Fucking porn stars and side shows, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I should be all right.
You have to at least, you have to be fucked up.
Awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you see me that way. Thank you very much, brother. Hey, man, thank you so much for your time, dude.
Thanks for having me, man.
This was awesome. One last cheers to some empty glasses, and we'll call it a day. Thank you.
Slurp.